video. My name is Mia. I play the harp. It's my main instrument. I've been playing for many years. Today is all about guitarists wanting to learn the harp and the most common mistakes that I see them make. I do play the guitar not very well though, but I have a bit of experience with that. The tips that I'm gonna give you are based on my experience and the way that I have been taught how to play the harp. That said, there are other techniques, so take everything with a grain of salt. I would suggest you to do your own research and find the style of playing that suits you. So, let's get into some very basic things to begin with. The first thing is you want to hold your harp on the right side, okay? So you have it resting on your right shoulder. Because if you put it on the left side, and you have to change the levers that are up here, that's pretty much impossible. You won't be able to see them. So that's why we have it on the right side. Okay, so the other thing is the tuning. You want to be very careful when you tune your harp because it really doesn't take much turning to change the pitch of a note. So you tune the harp with a tuning key, these pins here, and that's how you tune a string. On some other harps, you do it on the right side, like on the big one, you have a different key that goes on the right. But for this one, for this little harpsichord that I have, it's on the left side. That's very different from the guitar, because when you tune a string, you kind of really have to turn the tuning peg here. You kind of really have to go for it. But on the harp, you want to be very careful because it changes quite quickly. Also, you don't want to break your strings, so be very careful with the tuning. The next tip is, especially for those of you out there who play a style of guitar that requires you to have long nails, that might be a problem if you want to play the harp. At least if you want to play a classical harp or a Celtic harp, you do not use the fingernails to play. However, and that goes back to what I was saying about finding your own style, there are harp techniques that do use the fingernails. It's typically the South American harps. I think they use their fingernails, but don't take my word for it, go do your research. If you do want to play with your fingernails, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you because I really don't know how to do that. So yeah, I would recommend you to cut your nails if you want to play the Celtic harp or the classical harp. So the next thing is all about the playing technique and how it's different on the harp from on the guitar. I see a lot of guitarists going just with the tip of the fingers like this. I would suggest to go behind the strings like this. You see? See the difference between this and this? So I kind of go behind the string . Really go up and over to pick the strings. So yeah, go a bit more behind the strings when you play. Another thing that I see guitarists do a lot is playing one finger at a time. So when you play the harp, it's all about anticipation. You want to have your fingers ready to play before they play, if that makes sense, you see? So before I play this C major chord, you see all of my fingers are placed already, and now all I have to do, just like with a bow pretty much, you build up the tension, then you let it go like this. So here you see, before I play anything, my fingers are already on the strings, and now I play. That way I don't have to look at my strings all the time, or if I have something complicated that I'm playing on the left hand, I can focus on that. instead of having to focus on every single note separately. I hope that makes sense. Another thing that is typical of guitarists is the hand position. I see a lot of people going like this, from under. That doesn't really work very well for the harp. When you wanna, I guess in the beginning it's okay, but if you wanna play more complicated stuff, you really wanna go up and over with your hand. So like this, kind of like a wave shape with your hand, and then you just let the fingers fall and grab the strings and go behind the strings, okay? You kind of have to think ahead. You have to be ahead of everything you do. Now, the last point I want to make is don't put too much tension in your hands and in your fingers. When you play the guitar, especially with the left hand, you have to put enough pressure on the strings to press them against the fret. So you see, if I don't put enough pressure, there was no sound coming out. With the harp, I guess the advantage is that you do the same thing with both hands. It's symmetrical, but you don't need as much pressure to get those sounds out of the harp. However, you don't want to put too little pressure either, because I see that with a lot of people. They're like, oh my god, it's a harp, it's so fragile. Is it gonna break? No, it's not gonna break. I mean, unless you really exaggerate way too much. See how much strength you can use, not tension. You don't want to be tensed. There's a difference between strength and tension, okay? You can play with strength, absolutely, on the harp. You can really go for it. So, you see, you can play with a lot of strength, but that doesn't mean tension, okay? So you see here, tense, relaxed, tensed, relaxed. Of course, you know, you can play soft, you can play loud. Try and experiment a bit with it. To sum things up, don't put any tension in your hands or anywhere really. You want to be as relaxed as possible. So yeah, so that was it. That are my tips for beginner harpists who play the guitar. Let me know what you think in the comments. If the guitar is your main instrument and you've picked up the harp, share your tips. If you have anything to add, let me know. And if you're interested in Zoom harp classes, let me know. Send me an email. Maybe we can work something out. That was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And I'll see you next time. Bye!